Hey students, welcome to our week. And what we have for this week is really going to look back at last week's cash flow budget, something you worked on, hopefully to learn how to write formulas in Excel, hopefully how to develop a revenue and expense sheet that summarizes income and expenses and money going out and in, and then how to put that together in a cash flow budget. So that was kind of last week. Sometimes when you do these cash flow budgets, values change. You estimate that you're going to pay so much per pound for the cattle, but then you do a little more research and get closer to it and you realize that's not going to work. Sometimes you figure out what you think your expenses are going to be, like to feed them or to do supplies or vet medicine, and that actually turns out to not be correct and you adjust that. So when you write your formulas in Excel, it allows for those numbers to go through all the way through and update and give you a quick picture of what cash flow looks like now. So what we're going to do in this week is take the homework from last week. I'm going to go over the key a little bit, which you've already seen in last week's video. But I'm going to go over that again a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about some things we decided that aren't correct anymore. We need to update them. How does that work to update your cash flow? If you did a good job last week of your formulas, then the changes I have for you this week are going to be very minor, and you'll be able to make those, and you'll see the results. If you have some problems in your formulas and things don't update, then you need to correct those. So hopefully it's a quick week homework, but let's dive in and take a look at what you have. All right, so first I'm going to start off over here with our blank cash flow. It's what you started with last week. These were all of our estimates, things like how much we're going to sell the cattle for when we sell the pounds and how much we're going to buy them for. Now, to feed them and get them taken care of to grow that poundage, we're going to have to spend some money. So that's what this is. And each month or each quarter, the cattle gain a amount of pounds that reflect how many cattle we have on hand in that month or in that quarter. Then we've also got some fixed costs, like things we got to buy up front, and then borrowing is the loan payments. Now, we had some of money up front that we started with, plus we needed some investor money to get this going. So that's what you had last week. Over here were some of the unit values that I used to estimate that. And I went ahead and wrote some of the formulas so you could maybe quickly get it done. Like, for example, on the expenses. In the quarter one, you spent $86,250. If I double click on that, that lets me see what that formula is. And that formula is 75,000 pounds we bought, and we multiplied it times what we paid for them per pound. Notice the dollar sign right in front of the A there. That means that a dollar sign in a formula won't let it copy across the columns, like A won't become B, C, D. Or if you put the dollar sign in front of the number on the row, it won't, when you change up and down with copies, it won't change that either. But in this case, I've got locked the A. And so really it's pretty easy, and you could have done this already when you did the homework. I just drag that formula across with copy and paste. Or you can do it one at a time by choosing copy and then highlighting all of that and choosing paste, either one. So that gets those updated. Now here, double click. Same kind of thing. We've got the amount of cattle we sell. Just copy paste across there. When you do that little plus key, that little box on the bottom, that small plus key, that's copy paste all in one function. So that's quickly how to do that. Expenses I already have here done. Fixed costs are already kind of allocated. So revenue and expense sheet is what I ask you to fill out. And let's fill that out right quick. And again, this is last week's work. So equals. Pretty much just run over there on the info page and say, well, what did we sell in quarter one? The answer is right here, nothing. But I did that so I could just, again, copy all the way across. Now, that is just simply, if I double click, that's just info page C6. That's what shows up there. So if I copy and paste, then that's going to be info page E6. That's info page F6. So you see what it does, automatically updates. Go over here, equals. What about purchase of beef? Back over here. Purchase of beef is right there. And in the first quarter, that's what we bought. Second quarter, we bought some more. Third quarter, bought some more. Fourth quarter, bought nothing because we're done. All right, feed expense equals. Just run over here, info page, and feed is already calculated for me right there. Pretty much just bring it across, and then you can just bring it straight down. There they all are. Capital investor money, we begin with. The info page told us we begin with that much money equals. Got investor cash. It's right below it. The answer is, so that's what that was. Principal is going to be equals. Principal payment was right there. And then interest payment is again right below it. So revenue and expense sheet is a great place just to bring over those numbers and organize them a little bit to help us out. It's a step between these two. Cash flow, again, I laid it out for you. All you got to do is fill it out. So beginning cash equals, now I'm looking over at my revenue and expense sheet. We began with $50,000. We had some investors give us some money, equals revenue and expense sheet, $191. Sales equals, and we sold in the first quarter, nothing. And just carry that on across. Total cash available, that's the first part of the cash flow. That's just going to be equals sum. You could do it a couple of ways. Everything that we have totaled up right there. That's how much I have available. So if I come across here, I can bring those all the way across. I'm going to carry them across all the rows here to see. You can see I've got some formulas here that are already bringing some things over. But we're just kind of working down this column a little bit. Purchase of beef equals, run over here, revenue and expense. That's that same order. All of these are in the same order, which is super handy. Bring these all the way down. Go ahead and bring them all the way across. I'm going to stop here in the total because I'm going to go ahead and do some math to add those up. If I carried them over, watch what happens. You're going to basically get nothing because it's like, oh, there's nothing next to that. Anyway, get rid of that. Total cash from operations equals sum. That adds all this stuff up, and that's all our expenses. Again, formulas written, carried across. I'm going to go ahead and carry that over there as well because that's going to total up all of these. All right, so I'm keeping really kind of to make sure I get quarter one done. I'm going to keep going. Cash down for assets. This is net cash for operations. Oh, equals. Net cash for operations is you brought in that much money, but you spent that much money. So you've got, let's do that again, equals that minus that. There we go. You got $140,000 left over. Again, formula all the way across gives me some answers. All right, now you look like you might have a problem here in quarter two, but here's the problem. We got beginning cash in quarter two, and I don't know that number yet, so let me not worry about that right now. Let's finish the quarter one. Keep it going down the road. Cash down for assets. Let's see here. Did we put any cash down? Let me go back over the info page. I don't remember. Cash down. Oh, right there, $110,000 we put down. I kind of missed that on the revenue page. So yeah, we did. We put some money down. Enter. Principal and interest payments don't happen in the beginning. They happen at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and fill them out. And that is on my revenue and expense sheet right there. Principal and interest is right below it. Looks like I already had formulas over here adding these up. Okay, total cash flow for assets. So that's just going to be that we want to do a sum of what we have to pay out. Well, we had to put down money, and then if I copy that across, we had to spend money on a payment in that last period. Formula's done for me. Net cash flow, last one, equals. Well, if I slide up a little bit here, I've got net cash from operations. That is already the total amount minus what we spent, but I have to subtract a little more because we spent some money on assets. So we netted operations that minus what we spent on assets means we ended up with $40,000. That ending of $40,000 is going to be the beginning for next period. And then now the formulas are kind of working. I can take that formula and bring it over. And so you ended up with $29,000, no money on assets. So you end up with $29,000 left. Come up here to quarter three. And I could do equals and grab that, or couldn't I just actually copy that over? That actually just keeps moving over. So this formula looked at that cell. This formula looks at the next one. And so if you keep copying over, it's just going to keep moving it. All right, let's keep going down the list. No more money out, no more investor money. That's how much money we have left over. Looks like here, move that over, and now we're up to $91,000. Now, how did we start off so high, go low, now back up high? Has a lot to do with we started selling product now. All right, so let's come over here to the next quarter. If we come over here and again, just copy paste that over because that's what we ended with. So now we begin with that rundown. Sales are already there. Expenses are already there. Net cash from operations is there. That's the amount that we spent on our loan payments. bring that over, and that is the amount of money there. Now, when I do my last quarter, I like to also do a total. And that total is kind of helping me balance my checkbook. There's my checkbook balance every quarter. And if I balance it all year long, it'll all be the same number. We don't really match right now, so we have to kind of check our work a little bit. And I can see the holes are right here. So we began with 50,000. That's correct. We brought in 191,000. That's correct. Sales is going to be equals sum that we sold all of these potential quarters, and they totaled that much money. I already had a formula written that just says, hey, you began with this, you got investors, and you sold that much money. That means you got that much available. Let's go down here and look at this formula. Equals sum. Go ahead, go all the way across. Enter. That's how much we spent in purchase of beef. Now, if I just copy paste that all the way down, there are all the expenses across the way, and total cash for operations is all of those items added up. Net cash is that minus that. And if I look down, everything looks good. Let's just keep going. We started with down of that. We had some loan payments that were there, and total cash for assets was that. And then, of course, we subtract all that stuff. And what you end with in quarter 4 is also what you end with if you look at the total. And that way I know my numbers are right a little bit. All right, now that's what we thought was going to happen. Now let's back up to the info page. And that's kind of what this is all about. But I'm going to keep working right here. So in the info page, we made some assumptions. We made some assumptions that we were going to be able to buy these cattle at $1.15. Turns out we're having to actually pay $1.25 a pound to get these cattle bought. And so I'm going to highlight that one right there in blue, like, hey, that's a change. So automatically my formula's just adjusted. I have new expenses. In fact, if you jump to the cash flow, you can see that dropped the cash flow down quite a bit. So, all right, there's the first change that happened. As I look across here, feed costs have just become astronomical. So I'm going to look at 50 cents. Vet medicine or supplies is 20 cents and 20 cents on vet. So those are all new values that we have to deal with. Once again, formulas are already written, so they're updating themselves as they go. And you can see that's driving down my cash flow. All right, now as we go across here, let's say that our loan amortization is all the same. I'm not worried about that. But let's just say that the assets that we had, in fact, let's leave that alone. So all of this is fine. But we ended up with our investors kind of not really where we needed them to be. So they actually are looking at $170,000 they could provide to us. Based on some of the changes we make, they're not interested in giving us much money. Jump back to my cash flow. Holy cow, we're in trouble. And in fact, quarter 2 is a problem for us. So we look at this situation and go, man, we really need to kind of try to renegotiate our sales price. We're buying the right kind of cattle they want. Can we increase this? And let's say that we're able to get this done to $1.25. We're curious, how will that work? Jump to the cash flow, and that's really not helping me out a whole lot. What about $1.50? That should be jumping up that total poundage. And if I go over here and look at the cash flow, that actually kind of gets me going. So that might work. These are still totaling up, but let's look at this a little bit and say, you know what? That's really not possible. We've shoved this up, and that's just not going to work. And so I'm going to go back and put that back to $1.20, which is where we were. Go back and look at my cash flow. We're short. So here is my assignment to you. What price of the cattle being sold would we need to move to give us the money that we need to make our business cash flow? If we look across here, we're short 17,000. We really would like to make sure that we end the year, let's just say with another, we need to at least have $60,000 somewhere in there, 70,000. Let's say that your goal is 70,000 here. Can you get this done? Can you get that goal done to get 70,000? And if you can, I want you to play with this what kind of price is needed to get that done. If your formulas are up to date, this won't be a big change. But if they're not, make sure those formulas are working like they should, and this would update. So this is kind of a video for your week. Take your Excel file, follow along with me, and if you can make these changes, try to build this target in here. What does that need to be? I'm going to kind of leave that to question right now, and I'm going to let you try to figure that out on your own. But remember, your goal on this cash flow is to get $70,000. Now, everything blew up on me because I changed that to be not a number anymore. Put back $1.20, and there you go. We're right back to in business, but we haven't reached our goal. So what would it take to get us to about $70,000? And if we get there, what price would get us there? And does that fix quarter two? So see what you get done, calculating your own, and hopefully this video helps. Thanks.